The BMW i3 is a premium alternative to the likes of the Nissan Leaf and the Renault Zoe. There's no doubt that it looks different, but the i3 is there to offer a slightly more traditional drive than you'd expect, and the range extending engine that's fitted to this model hopes to eliminate some of that range anxiety that so plagues other electric cars.
You can't say that the i3 looks boring. With all manner of angular lines and blue highlights, it really looks like a car of the future. Notice as well that it doesn't have a radiator grille, but retains those recognisable kidney-shaped outlines.
The i3's interior is surprisingly spacious given the diminutive exterior size of the car. There's lots of nice features such as the large infotainment screen, which is controlled via the traditional BMW iDrive controller. There's a great sense of space to the interior, and that's mostly coming from the large windows and large overhead windows too. In all, it's just a relaxing place to sit. Now, one thing worth mentioning on the i3 are these fantastic suicide doors. And because the car is pillarless, it makes getting into the back of the car just that little bit easier. The i3 feels pretty much like any other car when you're up and running, until that is, you press the throttle and you get that instant torque that comes with any electric car. Now, if you haven't driven one before, I absolutely advise that you go and test drive one, because there really is nothing like it. And this car with the range extender means that you get an additional 90 miles on top of the electric charge, and that means that once you're out of battery power, you're not completely out. Despite its large alloy wheels, the i3 actually deals quite well with bumps on the road, and that means it's quite relaxing to drive. And couple that with the relatively silent interior sound, and you've got a car that you don't mind spending a little bit more time in than usual. Now, range is something that is crucial to electric cars, and luckily this is an area that the i3 does quite well in. In real world terms, you'll get about 90 miles to a single charge, and on top of that you'll get an additional 90 miles from the range extending engine. And that's quite a usable distance for everyday commuting, meaning that the i3 isn't restricted to short little jaunts in and around town. The i3 is a properly premium offering that more than lives up to the BMW name. It's a great place to sit, it's a nice car to drive, and, of course, it doesn't cost the earth to run. With this range extender engine, it's a more rounded package, which should be more than enough to convince people to make the switch to electric.